How's it, guys? So we're out here on the way to Botswana. How's it, guys? Welcome to another episode, and this week we are at the amazing Kailu Bush Camp in Dinokeng Game Reserve, and I'm going to answer a stack of questions I've had about the Desert Wolf trailer. I've had many questions about it. It is 23 years old, and I'm going to do a full review, setup, and show you the story behind this 23-year-old weapon.
Yes, that's me 23 years ago, which means this trailer is as old as I am. The Desert Wolf has been everywhere. It's crossed the Makgadikgadi salt pans, traversed the Moremi Game Reserve and Chobe National Park, been to the Kalahari many times, as well as to Namibia, and it has crossed the Kruger National Park from north to south at least 50 times in its lifetime, and hasn't given me a single day's trouble. The secret behind its reliability is the 3CR12 stainless steel construction. It may be heavy, but it is indestructible, and it hasn't shown any signs of the 23 years of rough travel in the African bush.
Now I'm going to cut you straight. This trailer, because it's old, is not as practical as the modern day trailers. Nothing slides out of the side, so it is a lot more work to set up. But it is worth it, and I don't mind doing the work. We have obviously modified it. In the beginning it was just a luggage trailer. I've modified it for camping around 7 years ago, and it works an absolute treat. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes longer than the traditional modern day trailers. And yeah, I'll show you guys exactly how I set it up. Right, so obviously you need to access these bins because in here is the luggage and the fridge. So this needs to go up on these gas struts. Pushes up, not too bad. Need a bit of force, and you just pull out these pins. There's 4 of them. Then you push it up. So that's the main tent down. Now it's just time for the side awnings.
Setup on the tent takes around 30 to 40 minutes as one person. These awnings offer ample protection from the harsh sun as well as the pouring rain. It's a pleasure to have a shady area to sit down and enjoy a great meal.
So in this little compartment over here is my table and my wash basin. The table is also the 3CR12 stainless steel. It is very heavy, so you almost need 2 people to remove it from here. Not too bad, but hey, it'll last forever, eh?
Located in the main bin is the Echo 4x4 charging system and the National Luna 52-litre fridge freezer, secured down with ratchet straps, as well as ample storage for other forms of luggage. The location of the fridge is convenient and allows me to strap down my solar panels on top of the fridge when in transit. Closing the rear door of the trailer presents one of my favorite modifications, the kitchen. This kitchen stores all of the equipment you would need for even the most remote trips in Africa, which means I can cook up a great meal wherever I go. The 5 kilogram gas bottle is stored in a secure bracket on the right hand side of the trailer for convenience.
In this left hand side pocket, I keep things like extra ratchet straps, all the dustbin bags, my smart space pots and pans, as well as the 100 amp hour battery for the electrical system is in here, so it sort of keeps the weight even from the right to the left hand side of the trailer. Got quite a lot of space and it's really worked out a treat. Over here I've got my National Lunar lights, these touch lights this is a white and a red one, and you've got 3 different brightness settings. So yeah, it works really well. I've got a couple of them also around hooked on the poles to give a nice even spread of light around the trailer. So what's really lacquer in here, this is the little adder room on the side of the trailer tent, is I can still gain access to the main trailer bin as well as this side pocket. Simply zip it down, large strip of Velcro, sorry for the noise, and in here is the other bin. Usually I keep wood, clothes, the wash basins, everything inside of here. Here is my other side pocket. I use this as the pantry. Food, cleaning up cloths, my 2 hammers for hammering in the tent pegs are here, and I've also got an axe and a spade built into this lid here, which is awesome. Nice use of some dead space there, and yeah, easy access. I can zip it all the way down if I need to, and then in the evening I just velcro it up there. Lots of space, ease of access, worked out really nicely. So the trailer tent is from Echo 4x4, and the reason why I went with the Echo tent is purely because of quality. It is one of the heavier tents on the market, but the quality is superb. The stitching, the canvas, the zips, they're proper wire cage zips, and also in wind, we've been on many trips where it's been 100 k's an hour, 90 k's an hour winds. This is held up perfectly. We've had to replace a couple of the guy ropes because they seem to strip, but otherwise it's held together, and when other tents have not made it, this has made it. It is a large tent, custom made, so that's why the adder room on the side here is much taller than on the usual Echo tents, but in terms of quality, I don't think anything can beat it. So the great thing about the trailer tent upstairs is the bed is extremely comfortable. These Echo mattresses are next level, a very high density foam, and it is a king size mattress up here with the bed extension I've gone for, so plenty of space. And I also have the option of opening the side windows completely or having the mesh, the mosquito netting, or the full canvas for those nights that it gets really cold. So on an afternoon like this, where there's a nice cool breeze coming through, as you can see there, I've opened it completely, and if there are any lions or anything in the camp, you can have a good view of them. You're high enough up to be safe, so that is awesome. Nice view in the mornings, gets enough ventilation, and then when it's extremely cold, you can close everything up. Fantastic. terms of light up here at night time, I hang my Nightcore LR10 lantern just on a cable tie up here. Lights up this entire tent inside. Great bit of kit that, so no need to wire anything through the trailer.
To protect the front of the trailer as well as the rear of the vehicle from stone damage, I had a stone net custom made.
So this is the good old wood rack. I've got a PVC cover keeping the wood nice and dry when it rains, and I can fit about 4 bags of sort of standard size wood up here. So I normally load this up with good old Cirkelbos wood, some of the best wood around in South Africa. Otherwise Mopani wood also works. Mopani is actually probably the best. But yeah, four bags of wood here. So I'm going to include a tip for off-road trailer purchasers or users. The standard jockey wheel that comes with these off-road trailers is just not good enough. I've gone for the thicker one. I think this is the 60mm jockey wheel. It's got 2 rubber wheels at the bottom, and the reason for that is it's okay on a campsite like this, which is perfectly level, not any thick sand. But the second you get into thick sand, those single jockey wheels with the thinner construction just sink deep into the sand, and you can't lift it high enough out to get it on the vehicle. So that is a lot of work digging and trying to put sand underneath or something underneath the jockey wheel. So spend the extra money, especially if it's a new purchase. Get the thicker jockey wheel with the clamp and get one of these clamps to secure it on while traveling. Another feature that's overlooked on these off-road trailers is the coupler damper shock, which is the shock absorber that controls the brakes between the coupler and the vehicle. And you also get a light duty and a heavy duty one. Most of these trailers come with the light duty. Spend the extra $600, get the heavy duty. I've had 2 light duty ones fail on me on the Marsh Road between the Mobabi Gate and Savuti, and the trailer basically crashes into the car over every single bump because there's nothing controlling it, nothing braking the trailer. So any little undulation with all this weight, it literally rams into the back of the car. It's an awful noise, can cause a lot of damage, actually bent a drop plate on the Land Cruiser. So yeah, get the heavy duty one, and I've done now 3 or 4 heavy trips with a heavy duty, still haven't replaced it. Very important component. Don't go with the light duty, go with the heavy duty. I'm also running the same 285/65 R18 BF Goodrich KO2s on the trailer, and exactly the same rims as on the 200. This means worst come to the worst, I have 3 or 4 extra spares. And what I've also done with this trailer is the wheels track exactly in the same path as the 200's tracks. So that means in soft sand, the trailer is not sliding about, it tracks straight and true, makes a big difference in the thick sand.
The trailer has 2 spares, one on the rear swing arm and one up front. For water storage, it has a jerry can bracket where I store 20 litres of water, as well as 2 100-litre stainless steel tanks with gravity-fed taps. I do plan on adding a water pump as well as a gas geyser for hot water.
So, as travelers and overlanders, our responsibility is to leave these places that we go to better than we found them. So, do yourselves a favor, get one of these wheel bin bags. There's various brands on the market. There's a camp cover one, and in the bush campsites where you have to take your rubbish out with you, it's got 2 separate pockets. One I use for my braai grids and one I use for the rubbish. They work really well. Please guys, don't litter in the campsite. Let's keep it lekker for everyone. Keep it clean. Get yourself one of these, chuck your rubbish in there. The second you get to the main road, pull over at one of these service stations and get rid of that rubbish. There's no need to leave it in your campsite. But I've used this one for a good couple of years now. The canvas holds up really well, and yeah, I would highly recommend it. solar power, I use a combination of this 105 watt and 150 watt Flexo Power solar panel to keep the trailer going. The solar regulator is also in the side pocket there. Very happy with the panels. They produce a lot, provide more than enough power to keep the fridge, the 52 litre National Luna I've got in there, going. So yeah, and obviously you move them around the campsite throughout the day. Works very well.
I also carry my lithium 444 power pack as backup.
So this wash basin is actually one of those cheap ones you get from Outdoor Warehouse, and when we first bought it I thought it would never stand up to the African conditions, but it's 6 or 7 years old now and still doing perfectly. So yeah, it's held up, works really well. A lot of space for packing dishes and washing up and rinsing. You don't need anything more than this. So I use these tent pegs with the spring in between the carabiner and the tent peg. The reason I use these tent pegs is the standard ones, you hit them into ground like this hard ground, or at Senzi rustic campsite in the Kruger, and they bend pretty much the first time you smack them in. So yeah, I've gone for these heavy duty ones. They are quite a lot more expensive, but I've been using them for 3 years now. They are almost impossible to bend, so I haven't needed to replace any of them. And what's really cool about this spring is in heavy wind, the spring controls the rope. So there's not that hard tension that allows it to flex a little, which means your tent is not going to be damaged by any form of wind. Another great tip my mate Tom actually gave me is when you are rigging up the poles for the awnings, is to loop the rope for the pole around the center of the pole. That means it's pulling on the center of the pole rather than just the top of the pole. This ensures that the pole first of all can't slip out anywhere, and yeah, it's much more taut in the wind. Works really well. When looping it around the top of the pole, there is a good chance that when a gust of wind comes through, the pole could slip and the awning will fall down. I also recommend that you use one of these tent peg pullers. Easy to get it out of this hard ground. When I spoke about the standard pegs, I mean these triangular shaped ones. They bend every time you hit them into hard ground.
For recovery, I avoid using the high lift jack, so carry a bottle jack instead. I also carry 2 fire strikers instead of the traditional fire extinguisher. Let's talk about the components that assist the trailer in carrying all that weight over rough terrain. The shock absorbers are the traditional Gabriel Safari shock absorbers, which do their job well as the 600 kilogram constant leaf springs, which cope with the weight superbly both on and off-road. The upgraded Alco brakes also assist in stopping the trailer when it needs stopping, especially in an emergency braking situation. The short length of the trailer really allows me to turn into narrow areas, and the trailer really does go wherever the vehicle does. It copes with the severe angles off-road superbly, and I don't feel like it hampers the off-road capability of the vehicle. With the Desert Wolf, I feel like I could tackle any trail that the vehicle is capable of doing. The only issue I've had is the dust proofing when crossing the Makgadikgadi pans. To be fair, that is the ultimate dust test, and it didn't leak that much. On any ordinary dirt road in South Africa, it doesn't leak, and the latching mechanism is solid. Whether it's camping in the Kruger, crossing the salt pans, or traversing the Moremi Game Reserve and Chobe National Park, reliability is what you need, and the Desert Wolf has it in spades. I love this trailer and can't wait to go on many more trips with it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, cheers.